Hello, this is Jim Dart with Indusa Technical Corp. Thank you for taking a few minutes today to learn more about Microsoft Dynamics 365 for Finance and Operations Enterprise Edition. What we're looking at on the screen is the user dashboard. The user dashboard is the initial page displayed for each user when they log on to the system. The buttons that you see in the middle of the screen are links to Workspaces. Workspaces are predefined set of features and functions and access for specific tasks within a role. We are going to take a look first at one of the workspaces in the accounts receivable role, the customer credit and calculations. Workspaces are task specific and simplify the user experience by providing direct access to a predefined set of features and functions for that specific task in that specific role. All workspaces start off with, on the left-hand side, a set of tiles, and on those tiles are predefined queries with links to forms and screens for that specific function within the system. Dynamics 365 also has the capability to have embedded reporting and analysis. Here we have a couple of pie charts that have been embedded into Dynamics 365 for operations for balances within the AR role. Workspaces also contain a set of lists of data that someone in that role for that task would want immediate access to. In this example, there is a query for age balances of all the customers, and the customer credit and collections personnel can, at a glance, very quickly, not have to run a separate report, but have access to key customer credit information right at their fingertips within the workspace. Lastly, all workspaces on the right-hand side contain links to key related functionality for the particular role and task. While almost all of the information for that a particular user would need access to will come within the workspace, not always will everything be there. And so Dynamics 365 for Operations has a filter field at the top of the screen to allow users to navigate directly to particular screens or forms within the system. They don't have to know a particular code or have to navigate to a page that has 100 different options. Now they can just type the name of the screen or the name of the form, and the system will display the forms that match those names. So I need to look at the bills of material, so I just type bills of material and press enter, and then I'm taken directly to the bills of material for screen. Don't need to navigate out to the first page, don't need to go to a particular page that has all the options or even know which module that screen is in. I just have to know part of the name of the form. So that is one way that Dynamics 365 for Operations has simplified the user experience. There is also a number of ways to search for the data within a screen or within a form. So I am going to open a list of customers for our company, for the test company. And just on top of the customer list, you can see a quick filter field. This quick filter field provides a quick way to search for specific customer or customers based on all the fields that you can see within the screen. So in this example, I want to find a customer or my customer that is in area code 321. So I type 321 in the quick filter field, and it shows me all the columns or all the fields that I can search on. So then I would simply select the field that I want to search on, in this case telephone, press enter, and now the system filters my customer list to only the customers that have 321 as their area code. The quick filter box provides a simple way to search across all fields within the form and limit that screen to only the fields that meet that search. I can search the data in multiple ways here by using the filter fields on the individual column headings themselves. In this case, I'm going to find all US customers. So I'm going to search where the customer account number begins with US. So I type US and press enter to apply the query. Now I want to limit that to all retail customers. So I know that in my customer naming convention, if it has retail anywhere in the system, that I can search and find and filter the list where it has retail in the customer name. So again, this is a couple ways that Dynamics 365 for Operations simplifies the user experience and provides easy ways to find and filter and limit the data within the system to exactly what the user needs at that point in time. Now let's say, for example, that I now need to take this list of retail customers and export it to Excel for additional analysis or create a quick ad hoc report that I can take to a meeting. Every screen or form within Dynamics 365 for Finance and Operations has a Microsoft Office button in the blue toolbar at the top of the form on the right-hand side. So I click the Microsoft Office button, and it shows a couple options for exporting the data to Excel. So I will just select the Export to Excel. I can choose to download this to my local desktop, save it to a OneDrive location or a common shared file location, or I can even save it onto a SharePoint site for additional collaboration purposes. I'm going to pick to download and open. And now within a matter of seconds, my list of customers is exported to Excel. Another feature customers often identify as a key or favorite feature within Dynamics 365 for Finance and Operations is the document handling capabilities. To take a look at the document handling capabilities, I'm going to navigate to the Purchase Order Preparation Workspace. Within Purchase Order Preparation Workspace, I'm going to select the particular purchase order that I want to attach a document to. The document handling capabilities of Dynamics 365 for Operations allows attaching any file to any record in the system. I could attach a vendor quote to a purchase order, a particular drawing for a customer request to a sales order. Any file that I want to attach to any record in the system can be done through document handling. So I'm going to open this particular purchase order and attach a vendor quote to this order. Again, back up on the toolbar, at the blue toolbar at the top of the screen, next to the Microsoft Office icon is a paperclip icon. The paperclip icon, when we select it, it opens an attachment screen. And from within this screen, I will select New and File. It's going to open up a browser window where I can navigate either on my local desktop or to a file on a network drive. Select that file and then attach it to the purchase order. So now anyone that opens this purchase order can now have access to the particular quote right at the point of viewing the purchase order. Once it's attached, then when anyone opens the particular attachment, the particular document handling attachment, the system displays a preview of the document from right within the application. So document handling can be used to attach any file to any record within the system to enhance collaboration and user access to data. Another feature of Dynamics 365 for operations that users frequently cite as being a favorite is the personalization options. Personalization allows users to tailor their own user experience specifically for their work processes. We call it personalization because it does not require a developer, that end users can access this option and change their fields so that they can work in the most efficient way possible. All Dynamics 365 for Operation forms have an Options tab at the top of the screen. So I select that tab, and then with underneath the Options tab is an option to personalize this form. There are a number of different personalizations that can be performed. For example, I'm going to click on the icon with 4 arrows on the personalization toolbar so I can move a couple fields around. The invoice account, in my case, is very similar to the vendor account, so I'm going to move it out here to the right, as it doesn't get used very frequently and doesn't add tremendous value as I come in here and view all my purchase orders. The next personalization that we're going to perform is to hide a field. I click the eye icon, and this purchase type is almost always purchase order for me, so I want to hide that. And so I simply click the eye icon and click on the column heading, and this field will get hidden the next time I open up the form. Lastly, I want to add the method of payment field to my purchase order list screen. To do this, I will click the plus icon on the personalization toolbar. Then we will tell the system which area on the screen I want to add a field, and then it will open up the lists of fields that I can add, and I am going to scroll down here. I could search this list similar to how I filtered the customer list in the previous example, but I am looking for method of payment. It was pretty close to the top, so I just scroll down and click Insert. Dynamics will put the method of payment out here on the far right, so I'm just going to not add another field. I'm going to click the Move icon on the personalization toolbar, and I'm going to move this up to right here within my screen. And so now within a minute or so, I have completely rearranged this and optimized my personal user experience for purchase order management and entry. The last capability, the last Dynamics 365 for Operations functionality that we are going to look at today is the Task Recorder. The Task Recorder allows for simply creating user-specific documentation by entering the transaction. The system automatically records all the steps that I take to execute a particular transaction and then creates a guide, step-by-step guide for the individual users in how to execute that transaction. So for this example, I'm going to first, before I go into the screen, I'm going to turn on the Task Recorder. And we're going to create a recording. Create a recording named Sales Order Entry. And I'm going to start the Task Recorder. And in this case, I'm going to start the entry of a sales order, and we're going to see how the system automatically creates a user document and a guide, a step-by-step guide for executing the transaction. So I am going to go into the sales order processing and inquiry workspace, click New, and you can see on the right-hand side how the system is capturing each step that I execute. I'm going to select a customer account. I'm going to select a location, a site or a plant, and a warehouse where I want my order to ship from. And then lastly, we'll pick the date that the customer requested to receive this order, and then click OK. This creates the header data for our sales order, and now the user would be able to go in and enter all the items for the order. We're going to stop the Task Recorder at this point, and we're going to save off a copy of it, so then we can pull it up right away and see how the system created, just by executing those steps, a company-specific user-guided document. So I'm going to go back to the main page of my Task Recorder, and we're going to play the recording as a guide. I want to open it up, that file that we just saved, and we'll open the task guide. I want to go back to my main screen before we start it. And now I'm going to start the task guide. You can see that it shows a pop-up box there that guides the user exactly where to go and what to click. Click New, click Sales Order. It's creating the sales order. It's going to show me to go to the customer account field, select the customer, shrink this screen. Select a site, select a warehouse, Shrink this, pick a date, and say OK. So now the task recorder has created a step-by-step user-guided instructions for how to create a sales order. Now this obviously can be used to train new individuals and greatly simplifies the multiple tasks within the implementation. So there is a quick overview of some of the key features within Dynamics 365 for Finance and Operations Enterprise Edition. Thank you again for your time, and everyone have a great day.